The beginning of the end starts with Walt and Jesse teaming up with Mike to tie up loose ends. Together they use expert planning, teamwork, and most importantly, magnets.
Yeah, bitch! Magnets! Oh!
Afterwards, Walt, Jesse, and Mike decide to start up a new meth business. Business starts off well, but not well enough for the money-crazed Walt. Skylar starts to realize, you know what? Living with a meth kingpin might not be good for children. Who'd have thunk it? So Skylar tries to get her kids out of the house to no avail. The next episode is a train heist. Awesome! You know what? More TV dramas should have train heists. Later, Mike and Jesse want to sell their share of the meth ingredients and be done with the business. A plan that Walt isn't happy with. Of course, Walt finds out a way to make everything work out for himself.
You're goddamn right.
Now drunk on power, Walt's evil is fully proved when he guns down Mike. Later, Walt decides to retire from meth making, finally convinced he has enough money. I mean, look at that! Interesting timing, considering that Hank discovered that Walt is a drug dealer during
the most important poop in TV history.
Walt's cancer returns, but that's the least of his worries, because he discovers that Hank is investigating him, leading to a very macho standoff.
Maybe your best course would be to tread lightly.
Such an awesome line. Hank goes to Skylar for help arresting Walt, but Skylar decides to help her husband instead. Your wife wants cancer to kill you one day and helps you out with the DEA the next. That's marriage for ya. Walt takes care of Hank by making a blackmail video, but gets a new problem when Jesse figures out that Walt poisoned the kid last season. In a rage, Jesse decides to burn Walt's house down, until he decides to just help Hank. Good call, good call. The new duo captures Walt and his money, but gets interrupted by Walt's hired gang of new Mexican Nazis. Man, they should have called in these guys for backup. The skinhead goons kill Hank and take Jesse as a meth slave. Back at home, Walter Jr. and Skylar find out everything, and Skylar changes her loyalties from Walt again. With his family in shambles, Walt decides to disappear. Walt hides out in a New Hampshire shack with nothing to entertain him but 2 copies of Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. A truly fitting punishment. Walt proceeds to mope around in the snow for a few months as the skinheads tighten their grip on Jesse. The very last episode of Breaking Bad starts with Walt clearing the air with these guys, whose names I'm not gonna bother looking up. Then he uses some gun robot thing to kill the skinheads and save Jesse, injuring himself in the process. The show ends with Walt walking into a meth lab and bleeding out, surrounded by his life's work. A truly great ending for a truly great show. Well, I'm Mr.Hatguy, and I have a new TV show to obsess over.
Do a barrel roll.